We are back. The podcast is on Skype this week. Apologies for that, but we will be answering some big questions. I will be revealing how I completed life yesterday as my hero spoke to me.
What?
Exciting stuff. We've also got a story actually to accompany that at the end of this podcast. Welcome to James and Flav for Now podcast. If you haven't heard it before, we were set to go on Monday. Things happened, didn't happen, but like a great wine, this running order, Flav, stands the test of time. We'll be finding out the best ways that you can describe Sean Dyche. We can actually catch up on newer things like Man City and Arsenal. If you want to talk about that briefly, you can do.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. What's going on, Jim? I know nothing.
We do well. I've got a whole running order here from Monday. So that's what we're doing, mate. We're going through it all. I actually had on the running order Man City and Tyson versus Wilder. I chose Wilder. I thought he was going to win it. I couldn't have been more wrong. Fury was unbelievable.
Yeah, but in the run-up to the fight, the odds were 50-50. No one could call it. I went back and forth constantly. So to say that you couldn't be more wrong is unfair. You're being unfair to yourself because no one... Look, if you watch boxing, right, as I do and religiously, I know how good Tyson Fury is. I know that he's the best heavyweight in the world, right? And I know that Wilder isn't. But he has the equalizer in that right hand. He has the hardest punch in the history of heavyweight boxing, probably, right?
Yeah.
So he could lose every minute, as he did in his last fight against Ortiz, Luis Ortiz. He lost every minute of that fight.
Yeah.
Landed one straight right hand, and Ortiz is gone, right?
What do you think of the excuse? Do you believe it?
Well, there's two excuses. There's one about the heavy...
Yeah, so they're going into the ring saying...
Incredible.
He did, he looked amazing. But they're saying it's like it was far too heavy and his legs were gone.
He said on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple of years ago, or whenever it was he was on there, that he trains with a 40-pound jacket on his back. That's how he trains.
Wilder does.
Yes, apparently, this is according to him. And so to do a ring walk in a 40-pound suit shouldn't make that much difference if the previous comment was true. But the idea of putting 40 pounds on your back to walk to a ring in the biggest fight of your life is sheer stupidity.
Yeah.
Like you give yourself every advantage, not the disadvantage. And some might say that him being a showman, that's a part of him, his attraction. The irony, though, is that he's not even that popular. He's nowhere near as popular as AJ or Fury. Anyway, the more realistic excuse, which could explain something, was the ankle injury, which is less exciting and going to garner less headlines.
Conversation, yeah.
Yeah, but in boxing, all of your power, all of it comes from your feet. So if he did have an ankle injury, then it's apparently said he's got a tumor in his ankle. Then you could...
What? Fucking... Where's he... I reckon he's gauging... Do you know what he's doing? He's gauging the excuse as he goes along. He's going, oh, my ankle's a bit... And they're going... And it had a tumour in it. You can have a tumour. They're going, oh, but actually, but regardless of that, it was the costume that was actually the thing that did it. Because that was really...
The tumour is a fascinating one. But the excuse is part of the reason. And this is a man who says... Everyone can make excuses in defeat, and he kind of there was some other caveat he had to other people making excuses when he beats them. Yeah. But the issue is that they've got this third fight contracted.
Yeah,
which means the only way they can sell it is if Wilder wasn't fit. Because does anyone want to see him just get beat up again? I don't.
On to Joshua just quickly. Who do you think wins that one? Your early shout before every different element comes in, because I think with boxing often people call it right further away from the fight. When it gets closer, everyone gets a bit like nervy.
Of course, you get caught up in it, and part of that is the promotional machine, because they want you to be convinced that one fight is going to beat the other. They want you to feel like it's a 50-50. That promotes a betting culture. So, but no, absolutely, hands down, without any shadow of doubt, Tyson Fury bastards the shit out of AJ. There's no world. Listen to me. You can clip this up. There is no world where a fit AJ beats a fit Tyson Fury. It just cannot happen. Okay. Even if he lands, he's not knocking him out, because he got up off of the hardest. AJ doesn't punch as hard as Wilder. He's a better boxer than Wilder, but he's like. He's leagues below. He's leagues below Tyson Fury. They all are. Like I've said it for ages that Tyson Fury is the best in the world.
We've got to see that fight though, because I kind of, as the proper casual, I still, I don't see the huge gap between them. I don't.
Okay,
I know so much less than you.
Take it from me. There is not just a huge gap. There's a gargantuan gap. Tyson Fury is an incredible elite heavyweight boxer. Like he could potentially, if he goes on to beat Fury and Usyk, if it ever comes to it, then he could be in the top 10 heavyweights of all time. He's that good.
Wow.
Anthony Joshua could fight 100 fights and never get anywhere near that. So, look, and I'm not taking anything away from Joshua. He's exciting. It's good to have him as a British fighter. But some people will say, and we will get onto the football soon, right? But some people will say, well, he's got 4 world titles actually. He's got 4 world titles. Tyson Fury's only got 1, and the Ring Magazine belt, right? But that isn't important. What's important is how you pick the titles up.
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury did 2 things. He beat Vladimir Klitschko when he had every belt sewn up, which meant that no one could win any belts. He had them all. He beat him and then had to vacate them all. And he just freed the belts up for all of these other heavyweights to grapple up and create a career for themselves.
In terms of story as well, there's I think if he beats Joshua, there's not a better. The only story that's, you talk about leagues, the only story that's near that league is Muhammad Ali's story of having to vacate the belts and then kind of come back and do it again, rumble in the jungle, all that stuff.
Tyson as well,
But Tyson was kind of, his rise was meteoric. But then after that, he didn't really bounce back and win it with.
He won a world title after coming back from 3 years in prison. That's quite a big.
Yeah.
He raped a woman, went to prison for 3 years, come back and won a world title. I'm not celebrating it. It's just pretty big.
Okay,
but just to say, Tyson Fury beat the best to win his titles. Anthony Joshua didn't. So his titles are not a bargain.
As of yet.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Right, let's talk football. Because I've been enjoying my football this week. QPR are flying. We beat Wayne Rooney's Derby County, as they're known now. And it was unbelievable. It was like watching. It's like watching a proper attraction. Like you go to the zoo and you watch Wayne Rooney for a bit. It was mad. It was because he was like. It was like watching the best potato you've ever seen play football. He still got it. It was like a charity match where you go, look, you just come down and play, and then they go whenever he needs it. He takes the ball and he pings it about, and he's amazing. But he has not got the legs at all anymore. It was absolutely insane, and he gave the ball away for the goal.
Where was he playing in midfield?
So he started. So the game starts, and I was like, all I'm going to do here is watch Wayne Rooney to see what he's like, see how he's aged, because I think I'm always interested in the fact that. Stars sort of grow and become names. Like when Dele Alli's playing for Milton Keynes, you're not going, he's going to play for England. You're going, he's just some guy who's good for Milton Keynes. The same goes on the way down. And I'm always intrigued to see how good are these guys still. And so when the game started, Wayne Rooney kind of trotted up to play up front, and I was like, okay, so he's going to play up front. But he basically he either stayed away from the ball as much as possible. And didn't get involved. That sort of player who's I'm going to get. I sort of have a better understanding of football than all of you lot, so I'm not going to get involved right now. I'm going to get involved when it's the right time, the right pass. Or he would literally then just drop into midfield, into that quarterback role, and pick up the ball when he was just a little bit bored, or he's getting a bit fed up with this Derby team. So he played up front initially, and then kind of just went wherever he wanted to. But it made sense because he just hasn't got the legs anymore.
Is he the manager?
So he's a coach.
Right. So I wonder who is the manager of Derby?
Philip Koku. So he knows his stuff.
I reckon he goes in and picks the team sheet and goes, all right, okay, so we're gonna have all of the other Derby players. I know who they are in there, and he goes, and I'm going to just float.
Yeah.
All right. So just don't you not worry about me. I'll worry about you.
We've all had that guy, Sunday League, who's a bit overweight, but he's sort of self-appointed manager and thus thinks he knows better than everyone. And so he kind of has to crowbar himself into the team, and he can kick the ball quite well. So you kind of let him get away with it because he takes every free kick and he takes every corner, and he thinks that's actually...
You've been scarred by something, haven't you? What's happened?
No, it's just like he's exactly that. It's like there was like a free kick where the right back was, and he went and took it. And it's like, come on, like this is professional football, but he's just sort of still trying to kind of offer up his value because now his leg's gone. Like he's got a great strike on him, but yeah, Wayne Rooney. I've been really annoyed by and I bet Derby County fans are a little bit annoyed by the sort of the fact that it's not Derby County anymore. It's Wayne Rooney's Derby County. And, they came onto our patch and got stung.
Yeah, but you know the other old Derby County. What were they? So what? It's not the shame, is it? That it's the Wayne Rooney FC now. Maybe it'll be better. Well, so what? Warburton, right? I looked at his win percentage ratio. It's higher than almost any of your managers in the last 10, 15 years.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 50.
Yeah.
In the league, won 7, drawn 2, lost 5.
Something's going on here, mate. How would you feel if QPR got into the Premier League?
I'd be really, really happy for you.
That would be so fun, wouldn't it?
But I would feel awkward coming onto the pod after we Dyche like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Not at the moment. Spurs couldn't dick a fucking spotted. No, they haven't got anything. Spurs couldn't score in a,
football match.
In a football match at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we haven't played for ages, so we don't have to talk about Spurs. QPR on the march.
On the march, indeed.
Not this season, though, is it?
Probably not this season.
Definitely.
And after this, do you know what good little chant we've now got for? We've got a player called Ilias Chair, and the chant when he came on was, we didn't say Ilias Chair at any point. We just went, "Oh, sit down, sit down next to me." It was brilliant. Right, follow us on iTunes if you haven't done yet. The podcast is actually far better just as an audio podcast instead of watching our faces move. Here are some comments from last week. Alexander Klapoff: "It's not for me to judge, but this podcast series is pretty great for now." Very good. Rory: "Love this pod so much." Sandwich. Elliot Lacey: "Absolutely died laughing at the sandwich moment. I even replayed it to my girlfriend when she got in from work and it made her cry. Unbelievable moment," says Elliot. And the Chat Shack: "Brave take. I do love Flav and the Fighting Cock podcast, but he's such a sore loser. He won't talk about Tottenham unless they win, lose or draw."
What's his name?
Unless they win.
What's his
name? Lose
name?
or draw. I don't want to talk about Tottenham. The Chat Shack.
The Chat Shack.
Yeah.
Like, use your real name if you're going to dig me out, son.
Yeah, nice.
So sandwich, we need to clear this up, don't we? Because we worked it out. Worked out what happened.
Yeah, it's tenuous. Yeah, you were wearing a too heavy a jumper, and it messed with your brain, didn't it, on the walk to the...
Did you see that meme going around? He goes, what's it? Oh, fuck, I can't remember. You remember? It was the beginning of 8 Mile, the Lose Yourself.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So arms are weak, heavy, all that stuff.
These weak armors heavy.
Yeah. Armors heavy.
I butchered it anyway. But yeah. So the idea, right? Because I couldn't explain it. I don't know where this word came from. It's an involuntary thing. And I was talking to Jim afterwards because you clipped it up and sent it over, and I was in tears. I showed it to my missus.
She loved it.
Yeah. So what it was is because just before that bit, we were talking about how for my wedding, I was going to be given away by Ollie's 2 lesbian friends, right? Which was stupid because the man's not given away and they're lesbian, they're not my dad. But in my head, I visualised walking down the aisle just before I said this with them 2 beside me.
Sandwiched. I
think that's where it came from.
I think that's it too.
Because,
let's pray that it was that, because otherwise I have no idea what's going on. Do you know what, actually, FPL FYI went out yesterday and there was a comment there and it just said sandwich.
Yeah, I went on the kickoff last week and there's a few sandwiches in the... That's fine though, because it's good. Do you know what it is? It means our little cult is spreading its little tentacles onto the internet.
Appreciate that. And get people... make sure, I was thinking that the other day. It's like, people checking in? Make sure you're checking in, just so we know that you're fine. How was the kickoff? Next to Rory losing, horrible.
It was terrible. The whole thing was fucking awful. I hated it. I
clicked on one bit and I literally, you like skim through or whatever, just to see your lovely face. And there was a bit of it. It just cut to you and went, "This is horrible. This is enjoyable at all." Yeah,
I didn't have a good day. I had a bad day. So, but work is sometimes difficult, isn't it? So, it's just sitting next to Rory. I mean,
it's just sitting next to Rory.
No, Rory's like, I understand why everybody hates him in a footballing sense. The Spurs fans loathe him, but I enjoy it. I enjoy his digs and stuff because I know fundamentally he's not like privately he hasn't dug me out. But on social media or something like that, he'll go from it, and it's fine. I get it. I understand it. But other Spurs fans fucking hate him. Like honestly, I mentioned on the thing about I got a message saying, "I can't believe you're sitting next to Rory. If I'd sit next to Rory, I'd smash his face with a baseball bat and ram it in with a pole." I told him on live on kickoff.
I text you that in confidence. I actually, because I put out a couple of tweets. We chatted about it last week on the Skype. I put out a couple of tweets. I put a tweet about the Man City game because I was like. I did a video after it, just breaking it down on what I saw. Because I thought it was a really interesting 0-0, like someone that, likes the actual sport. And I was just talking about like the half spaces that De Bruyne and Silva played in. I thought that was really clever because Casemiro's going, why are they there? Ramos and Varane, when they get the ball, they're like, why are they there? I thought it was really, really smart. So I used this phrase, half spaces. And Rory was like, I was just thinking the exact same thing about the half spaces. And I messaged him going, you're such a troll. And he just gave me the emoji just with a little kiss. I was like, that's Rory to a T.
He just loves getting a reaction.
Yeah, he loves it.
And that's why, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Ezekiel, new bit, things not to sleep on. So, Flav, if there's anything that comes to mind, feel free to get involved. You guys in the comments or wherever you want to tweet us or whatever it is, let us know things that you shouldn't be sleeping on. We can talk football players or we can talk other things like Ezekiel's done here. Burger sauce. We've spoken about burger sauce in the past as a condiment.
This is what he said. It was the same guy. He's fucking burger sauce mad, this geezer.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same...
Maybe that's what he's kicking off with as the sort of recall.
So I'm not saying you should sleep on burger sauce. It's fine. It's just a bit trampy.
Yeah, it's a bit trampy. You've never seen burger sauce in a fancy bottle, have you?
No.
You've only seen it in the squidgy big things.
And that's because of the colour of it. It's just so shit in it. It's just like this weird sort of like beige. It's good though, mate. It is really good on chips, especially. Whoa. Similar
colour to burger sauce. Raul Jimenez, Wolves striker. Don't sleep on him. I agree.
Don't think anyone is.
No, he's got a really tough decision to make in the summer of if he does the sort of Louis Saha when he was at Fulham force the move thing, or if he actually stays with that team because that Wolves team could easily finish fourth. They're favourites, I reckon, going into the game against you. Surely this weekend.
Are we playing them this weekend?
Yeah.
Fuck. I thought it was the FA Cup.
No.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's all we need, isn't it? Off the back of losing 2 games, go and play fucking... Do you know the other thing that pissed me off? And also made me happy, because obviously we haven't mentioned yet that Arsenal are out of the Europa League. This is a team that we demolished. We just like, not that. What, Olympiacos, get away. Get up. Smell. Right? That's
what is that?
What is
it? Olympiacos.
What is
out.
That? Yeah. What's that? Oi, Olympiacos, get the fuck out of here.
I told you about it, yeah.
That's what
we've spoken about this. Get out.
In the Champions League. So, stop coming in here, with all that football nonsense. Get out. Whereas at Arsenal, it was like, fucking, this is our house. You get out. This is our competition. Arsenal, you get out. We're taking your house. We're going to bum your wife.
But in the long run, that could be bad for Spurs,
Yeah, well, who cares? You've got to enjoy the moments when they come. But they bought... I can't remember his name, but they had a player, all jokes aside, absolutely in the first game in the Champions League against Olympiacos, run us ragged, called Pedence, right? I'm probably butchering that. And I was like, we should sign that guy.
Oh, the guy's gone to Wolves.
Where is he now?
Gone to Wolves, right?
Fucking Wolves. And he's going to play at the weekend and he's going to tear us a new one because he's so good. Wolves recruitment is second to none. Everybody needs to look at what Wolves have done and get as many Portuguese players as you can. Doesn't matter if they're any good or not, because they turn good the minute they get to the Great Britain, by the sounds of things.
I was looking into the game because we did a section on it on the Premier League show, and they when you look at the sort of chances created, I was trying to find something on Son and how much you're missing Son, or you will miss Son because of the chances that he creates, and he is miles ahead of any other player in terms of chances that he creates. But then I had a look at Wolves. And because he doesn't really score many points on FPL, we never talk about him. But Moutinho, the sort of simple chances that he creates, he was miles ahead of. I think he was ahead of Son certainly, and he was miles ahead of anyone in Wolves. And it's interesting. You often think about when you think about Wolves, you think Jimenez, Traore, maybe Ruben Neves, but Moutinho is such a crucial player for them. He's so underrated, and I reckon he'd get into most of the other teams because he actually does the work as well.
Yeah. He'd get into ours, ahead of Wings. I know he's old as fuck now.
Yeah.
I think the time when we could have signed him and he went to Monaco instead, and that was like 6. That was when Modric left. So that we could have had him, that Moutinho, and the one now still doing it, still pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Like if anything happens to Mourinho, well, when something happens to Mourinho, it's that there are 3 names you're looking at: Ten Hag, Nagelsmann, and Nuno. It's got to be one of those 3. Yeah, he's great. Nuno Espirito. Yeah. And is he going to get frustrated at the lack of investment? I don't know. But they've done wonders with the players they've brought in. Incredible.
They're on a nice little journey, especially if they because obviously they're still in the Europa League. So if they could easily get themselves to a final. I could see them doing that. It'd be interesting to see if they can keep it going on both fronts, or if there is that inevitable thing where, come on, how many times are we going to be in the Europa League for the first time? We need to really give this a go. But I guess at the same time, how many chances are you going to have to be able to get into the Champions League, especially if you can get if it's a top 5 thing? They're
probably not going to get into the Champions League this year. It'll be tough for them to get in it for the league and compete in Europa League. And you think, well, we don't have to finish in the Champions League in terms of in the table this year. We can consolidate again.
Well, it depends if it's 5th, though. Because if they're 5th, they're 2 points off 5th.
Yeah.
They're 5 points off 4th.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know if... I think Man City are going to appeal, so it won't go to 5th this year anyhow. But anyway, look, they've got 2 great opportunities. Can't see a world where they throw the Europa, winning the Europa League. Forget the Champions League for a club like Wolves is massive. It's not a club like anybody, like Spurs. I'd take the Euro. I'd love it. So if Wolves did it, imagine. And Spurs have had this. Spurs have this elevated opinion of what they should be achieving.
Do you know what's happening? You know what's happening, don't you?
What's that?
You're becoming Arsenal. Wolves are becoming Spurs. Just so you know. Other things not to sleep on. James Lawrence Allcott, whoever that is. Hooch. I think people have been sleeping on Hooch for a while.
Hooch?
Do you remember the drink? Hooch.
Is that what you were talking about? Is that still a thing?
I'm guessing so. Yeah, I didn't know they still made it. Flav's fashion sense. You'll be happy to hear about that one. Bukayo, but he also likes burger sauce, so...
Fine, I forgive him.
Yep.
Give him take.
And Bukayo Saka, who is decent.
Arsenal player?
Yeah. Take it as a condiment. We asked people if a player was a condiment, which condiment would they be? You guys got in touch. Greenio said James Milner is definitely ketchup. The haters call him boring, but he always does a job.
Does a job on everything. Absolutely spot on.
Especially bolognese, if you're Flav. Disgusting.
I am ashamed by that. I absolutely ashamed, but it is better with it on. So.
Zach Rivza. Henderson is a chip shop curry sauce. Absolutely world class in a very specific system, but doesn't work perfectly in most meals. Would probably still taste all right though.
Yeah, spot on.
Sam Bryan appreciated it. Said elite analysis. Good stuff, Zach. Jake Barlow, Roberto Firmino, Frank's hot sauce, which I've never had actually, is so good. Has a bit of flair, the right amount of spice, and you can't tell if it's underrated or rated appropriately, which is prone to extensive debate among your mates. Slowly getting the ratings it deserves.
That's a lovely way of words. I'm just googling this now because this is one of the things I can do. I haven't had that. Is that No, see, I've got into hot sauce. I've mentioned this a couple of times before, but so many people recommend it. I've always been like, it's a bit meh, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you know what we can do actually? So, if let's give us a sauce and a food for us to try at the start of next pod. I'll go and get it. We'll taste it out. Maybe if we can find, what was it, Frank's hot sauce? Could be an
you
option.
can get it.
What's the best thing to eat with hot sauce?
You can. This is the thing. It's the most versatile thing. My favorite thing is scrambled eggs, but you can have it on anything. Chicken's like really popular, obviously.
We could do that. Scrambled eggs might be good because it's quite a basic sort of.
This isn't an eating challenge. Let's just put this down. It's not an eating challenge. You're not going to give us some fucking disgusting shit to eat. It's not that.
No.
This is just educate us, improve our lives.
Yeah, give us the sort of the scrambled eggs feels like the right canvas for us to try these hot sauces. Samuel Brooke Williams, I love him, but Milner is a bowl of bread sauce. Razengan, Flav's thoughts on béarnaise. Feel it applies to any middle class snobby player.
What's béarnaise?
Béarnaise sauce is like you have it with steak a lot of the time. I would dare I say it. I think do you have it like with eggs and salmon and stuff like that as well?
It's butter and egg yolk.
Yeah, it's all right. I'd drift towards possibly saying it's overrated. Okay.
I'm also my dad's a plumber. I've never heard of it. He did bring home a. I put this on Twitter because I just wanted to help people. Sure. Right? And it's saying this is what we're doing here now, right? Morrison's do their finest range is hummus with pesto on the top.
Yeah.
Oh mate, I swear to God. And I was like, that is going to taste good. I know it's going to taste good. I've got a little bit of pita, put it in my mouth, and I was like, I am in heaven now.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, you probably don't have Morrison's. You've got like Lidl where you live, innit? But
there is a Lidl, yeah. There is a Morrison's. No, we shop at Morrison's.
Jesus, do you?
Yeah.
You've got Morrison's, yeah. Where you live? Yeah. Wow. Because you've gone. This is my problem with you, Jim. Right? Is you're like one of these people that look forced gentrification. You move out of lovely leafy Surrey and go into a shithole, and then be a part of its boom, and all the poor people get put out.
Yeah, fair point.
But fuck poor people though, because you know what? Like everyone's like, oh, you got to be sympathetic. These people, not just poor people, every person on this planet typically does bad things. You know, for me, it might be you eating meat is a bad thing. That's what I consider to be bad, right? I wouldn't tell anyone, dig anyone out. My missus eats meat, it's not a problem, right? All I'm saying is that not everybody is worth your sympathy.
Fair play. What's your woke take off the back of that? The Lincolnshire, I think they're like Lincolnshire. I don't know if they're vegan sausages or vegetarian sausages, are as good as proper sausages. It's unbelievable. I'm frying these things. They taste just like sausages. You pop them with a mash. It's half the calories, guys. It allows you to have that comfort food that you need on a cold weekday evening without the guilt. You can go, oh, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, always have 3 sausages with anything. If you go to a pub and you get bangers and mash and they give you 2 sausages, smash the place up. But often at home, you'll have your 3 and you go, no, love, it's all right. I'll take the plates into the kitchen. Because there's 2 sausages still waiting in there with your name on it. If you could sneak one in your goal quickly enough. If you can get it in and get it down, and it's not too long a time by the time you get back, she'll never know. And with these bad boys, you can do that without the guilt. So
you're talking about Richmond sausages, right? Richmond's.
No, what? They're like Lincoln something.
All right, fine, because I haven't heard. I don't know what I haven't had these.
Right.
This is my stuff. I think we've got to go back to football. I think, but I feel like there is a slow takeover of veganism. It's almost like people are worried about like extremist Islamics destroying British culture. No, it's the vegans. Well, slowly but surely, they're doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's the same fear.
Yeah, but eventually, like Britain first will start coming for the vegans. Another thing that people have slept on, I've got one.
Go on.
Or sleeping on, Griselda. The label Griselda as a band, 3 rappers called Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine. Fucking can't remember the other one. But all I'm going to say to you is go on Spotify, type in Griselda, some dirty sort of early 90s rap, but it ain't, it's new. And all I'm going to go is boom, 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 boom. That's all.
Let me hear you say wayo. Wayo. Is that it? No. Whilst you're on Spotify, check out the Pollen playlist as well. It's decent. Football chat around the grounds. Right, here's a new bit in a way. What I'm going to do going forward, I'm going to go around the grounds. The grounds are the YouTube community tab, my Twitter, and the Patreon. If you want to become a patron, then we do an extra Skype every single week. So there's a link in the description. Come and join us. And we're going to be doing a Discord again soon because it was wicked. So yeah, if you want to be a part of all of that, then do so. But I asked people what they want to talk about. We go around the grounds. YouTube community tab first. Harvey Barrow. Who's the best striker in the league? I think Aubameyang or Aguero. What is your answer to that, Flav? Who's the best striker in the league?
Aubameyang.
If you said to me you can take any striker and put him in your team, I would probably go with Aguero still.
I would definitely, if you gave me to choose, I would definitely go with Aguero 100% because he's a scumbag.
Goal scoring machine.
But no, because Aubameyang's a scumbag. But he's I've seen what Aubameyang's done to Tottenham when he was at Dortmund, and what he continues to do to the Premier League. He's incredible. Thank fuck he's 31, and thank fuck that if Arsenal don't finish in the top four, which they probably won't, that he'll be gone because he's not going to play another season in Europa League.
His contract's going to be up sooner or later as well. Yeah, I would still stick with Aguero. He's just an absolute machine. Although you probably get more apart from goals from Aubameyang.
Aguero!
Yeah, thanks for that. Bradley Ashworth. Who would whine more as a manager? He's not listening. Jose Mourinho or Ian Beale? I'm going to go with Jose Mourinho. He has not changed the colour of his spots, it would seem. He loves to moan. Quick answer, Flav. Jose Mourinho or Ian Beale? Who would moan more as a manager?
Can you hear that?
What is it?
That was ridiculously self-centered, wasn't it? My kettle.
I've answered it.
Jose Mourinho, Ian Beale. Who cares?
Okay. JS, brave take. Playoffs should be changed. As from the YouTube comments, we're going there now. Brave take. Playoffs should be changed so third place get a pass to the final and then fourth and fifth play off for the second spot. Feel it's unfair that finishing third gives almost no advantage. First time commenter. Love the pod. Keep it up. That's absolute rubbish. You've got to remember that you want to keep the whole league competitive. If you know what the rules are at the start, it doesn't matter. Some years, the third place team will have 20 points more than the fourth place. Another year, it'll have 1 point more. You can't just make this blanket rule on this one thing. It's silly. And if you can keep it going down to sixth place, and I've always said, Flav, haven't I? The Premier League should have playoffs for the Champions League places. You would have teams that are 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, battling it out right to the end of the season instead of giving up on the season with the last few weeks to go.
Yeah, to add to that, if you do that, you'll have teams consolidating and it will damage the brand of football for third place. And also, everybody knows that the playoffs are one of the very best things about English football. Just don't fuck with something that's great.
Yeah, nice try, JS. Toshan Williams, also ballsy take. Celtic and Rangers would struggle to make the playoffs if they played in the Championship.
Celtic would come up. Not sure Rangers would in their current form. That said, did you see the results last night?
What, Celtic?
Celtic, yeah. They equalised. They equalised to draw the tie to take it to extra time on the 83rd minute. They lost 3-1.
Bang,
1-0, and then suddenly 3-1. Rangers fans must have been, because they're through to the next round, Rangers, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got that over them, but they're throwing away the league. I watched the Rangers St Johnstone game, and they had this centre back who's just terrible, and just gave them 2 goals. They dominated the game otherwise. It's madness, and that's the one they need because that's going to be 9. It's going to be 9 in a row. And they're getting close to that 10th. Next season, Scottish football's going to be tasty. Over to Patreon, Oliver Sack. Thank you, mate. I know it's not footy related, but would love to hear Flav's take on the Fury's big win. We've done that, mate. Robert Turner, brave take. This has been the most entertaining Premier League season ever.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, the fact is, nobody really gives a shit about who wins, right? Fans, if you're a partisan fan in the Premier League, like if there's a race between Liverpool and Man City, you're not excited about it. I'm not. Oh God, who's going to win? Who's going to win the Premier League? If you're not involved, you don't care. That's the truth. If you're not involved, you do because you're the neutral one, right? But everybody else doesn't give a shit. If Liverpool won the league, right, they're going to enjoy it, and we have to endure it, right? Man City last year, they won the league. You didn't think, oh God, well done, right? You just thought we're not a part of it. You can fuck off and have your own little league up there if you want. That's where it comes from, other fans, right? So this has been exciting. This season has been exciting because there's been so many unpredictable results. There's like if Chelsea get a smashing Spurs one week and then getting done by a shitty Man United side another week, that's interesting. It makes football interesting rather than what we had 10 years ago, 15 years ago was you had a top four elite that no one could break into. Whereas now it's different. Anyway, as you say, Wolves probably our favourites next year to finish top four. You could argue
in there,
that.
aren't they? They're definitely in there. Yeah.
Leicester will be in the top four. So you could have a top four that involves Wolves and Leicester this season. That's exciting.
My answer to this question would be that I disagree. I actually think if you stop the season right now, this is actually one of the most boring. But between now and the end of the season, I think obviously the league's going to get wrapped up and that'll be done and dusted, and so we won't be concentrating on that. But the Champions League thing with so many teams there, and also down the bottom, I think there's going to be 4 or 5 teams battling it out for. You've got Bournemouth, Watford is struggling now. West Ham have got horrible fixtures. Villa have got horrible fixtures. All those guys are going to be Brighton. I haven't totally figured it out just yet, despite a few good performances.
Who do you think will go down, Jim?
I think that so Watford and Villa, West Ham and Villa have got the worst fixtures. I think Norwich are obviously going to go down.
Yeah.
I think Watford will find a way to get out of it. I think it could be Villa and Bournemouth. Because Bournemouth just can't seem to figure it out, and they concede so many goals. And I think there's always a team like that gets a bit jaded. Like West Brom did it, I think maybe 2 years ago. Stoke City, they'd gone and they kept it going. Sunderland, they'd gone and they'd kept going, and he stuck with the same squad. And then it got to a point where they just didn't have much in the tank anymore. And I feel like that might be the case with Bournemouth.
I think it's West Ham, Watford, Norwich. I think it's teams that are down there.
You know, West Ham are playing Villa last game of the season. that could be like for all the marbles.
West Ham fans are doing another protest, aren't they?
Are they?
I love a protest.
Always in March, isn't it? February, March. Love a little protest.
The problem is this time is you can't. If you
spend a lot of money.
You can't just keep protesting when things are shit, right? You can't. If you genuinely hate the board this much, you have to continue this process, and it has to be consistent through the good performances and the bad. Because now, from my perspective, originally it was like, oh well, you left the bowling. That's fucking out of order. You wanted to stay there. You didn't want to move into this shitty stadium. You moved in there. Everyone hates it. So that was a reason to protest. I get it. And then you're like, we're doing all right. Started the season quite well. Everything's hunky-dory. Then last March, things are going wrong. People running on the pitch. Then you had a little spell this season. And then, it's going wrong again. So now you're protesting. So eventually it loses its impact.
Yeah, definitely.
Like now... Go after it. Go after them consistently forever till they're gone.
West Ham fans can enlighten me on this, but I would say that in previous years, fine. Like the investments didn't feel like it was there. They didn't feel like they were stepping towards the fans. I think they the squad and the names that they've brought in aren't that bad. I think the blame.
Well, that
Haller's just not worked at all.
But he had the geezer who went to Real Madrid next to him in that side.
Yeah.
That's what
and now now we obviously all know that. But I also think everyone at the start of the season was going, oh wow, he's what a striker that they're going to do really well. Fornals is a good player, but they haven't been able to fit him in. Lanzini was a good player, and it feels like most West Ham fans that I speak to, they think that he's just not the same player. Like he's got injured and he's just totally lost it, and when you don't have that attacking midfielder who can kind of thread it all together, like you see it with Man United, they're getting better because they've got McTominay or Fred or whoever it is, Matic, and they've got someone to play it to. With West Ham, when I've watched them, you've got Noble and Declan Rice, and they've got no one to give it to really because Haller's like too far away, or he's still making his way over to get into space or whatever it is. Anderson's got like 1 goal all season and he's not been great. Actually, Snodgrass has been one of their better players. But that, again, is another one of those things. Like we said it earlier in the season. With Watford, I was chatting to a Watford fan. I was like, why is Mariappa playing? He's like, when it gets to a certain point in the season, when they're pissed off with all the new signings, they go back to this guy who you know you're going to get the sort of safe, consistent performances. Like we had Jamie Mackey. I was always like, if Jamie Mackey's in the team, we're probably not doing that well. And Snodgrass is that example, I think, for West Ham. So yeah, you're right. They might struggle. Jared Bowen's a good signing, though. I think they'll win this weekend because they need to win this weekend.
Who do they got?
Southampton.
I can't see him getting a result against Southampton.
Yeah, I think Southampton might take the foot off again. I just think West Ham will need it so much that they'll get the win. Onto Twitter, Matt Robson. Number 10 is dead. Woke take. With the emphasis now more on a team performance, as can be seen by Liverpool's success, the cam seems an inconvenience which sacrifices an important element of the midfield. Hence, the decline of Eriksen, Ozil, etc., and the movement of previous number 10s to number 8s like De Bruyne and Maddison.
That makes sense. It sounds like he understands football better than me, so I'm not sure what to say.
He's got Donnarumma as his profile picture, so he probably does. I wouldn't totally agree with that, just because I think actually you've seen with Ozil in the way that they're setting up now. I actually think the next stage, you saw it with the Man City game, is like going back to kind of a bit of an evolution of having a De Bruyne almost as a forward or Ozil almost as a forward, and your proper strikers are playing like Aubameyang and Pepe or Jesus, where they're kind of wide, where because there's that space, because so many teams play with fullbacks getting forward now. So often it's like, where is the space? And I think the space is in behind the right backs. So that's my take on it. Grope. We'll go from woke take to grope take. Spurs fans since 1992. Would Flav sleep with Jose for an FA Cup trophy? Real talk.
Yeah, because there's two things there. We win an FA Cup trophy, and two, I say that I've done something that almost no one else has done on the planet.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
We haven't been there in a while. We're going to go there quickly. Can you hear that?
What?
You probably can't. It's G-Bid. G-Bids, I've got the 6-hour ambient soundscape. You can't hear it, can you?
I can imagine, though.
Okay, just imagine it. So here we go. G-Bids is back. He loves a bit of golf. He works on a golf course, and I like to imagine him writing his comments, sitting against a tree, a bit like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank Redemption, just before he goes to Huatanea. Hi chaps, great pod. Has to be one of the funniest yet. Belly laughs galore, and certainly cheered me up from the miserable task of clearing up after Storm. It's Ciara, isn't it? And Dennis. Just when the course was beginning to look ship-shape, clearing up twigs and fine debris is definitely up there as one of my top annoying things to deal with, along with whining golfers and fly tipping. Out of interest, I'd like to know what you consider to be your top 3 petty annoyances. On a more positive note, I'd love to know what your top football chant/song for a player is, either currently or of all time. I only ask this because the Bobby Firmino song is on repeat in my head most days. Thanks for a thoroughly entertaining hour. And that's G-Bids, just chilling out in the grass before he goes to sort out the greens of the golf course. Top 3 petty annoyances? Got anything?
I should have been pre-warned.
You really should have. You really should have. Just one. Can you give me one?
Yeah, I can. So people that stand in your way, when there's clearly it's such like there's. So I walked into a Starbucks the other day, right, and there were 3 women literally standing inside the door so that I couldn't get past them. And they just stopped, and they were just talking among themselves. I wanted to grab them all by the head and smash them into the wall.
But he
People that
didn't,
stop,
just to be
no, of course not. I just tutted. But people who, when you're walking along in the street and just suddenly stop in front of you, or just stop, you move to the side and stop. You fucking ignorant prick.
I'm more and more guilty of stuff like that as well. I think everyone is now because of your phones as well. So you're just sort of like in your own world, hovering about. Which
I do that as well. It must be really annoying. I used to do it with books as well. Actually, I used to walk along reading a book and shit like that. So, but this is long before phones, when you people actually read and educate themselves regularly, rather than just like that. TikTok. That's a petty annoyance. TikTok dances.
Yeah.
My daughter Chloe, she cannot move without dancing at the same time. And maybe she was born to dance. Maybe that's it, right? But for me, just seeing her doing this.
What, she just can't, like...
It's like Tourette's.
In the kitchen.
TikTok Tourette's. That's
oh, my God.
Got. She can stand still. The minute she moves, it goes into a dance. It's incredible.
At least she's active.
Yeah, at least she's moving, to be fair. What have you got?
Getting off a train and someone going to get on the train before you've got off, like straight away.
Really rude.
Unbelievable. I will go mental. I can't be living with that.
Women,
I think you get a free pass with that. Like I remember a pregnant woman holding 2 bags of shopping, trying to get off, and some city boy like just almost like barging past their bag and getting on. And I went mental at him.
Did you?
You are an... Oh my God! Actually, have I told you this?
No.
So I went to QPR. And it was chucking it down along last Saturday maybe, and I get there and I haven't had lunch, so I hadn't had any food. So I was like, I'll grab a pie, a packet of crisps or something before I go sit down. Go to the guy, and it's, you know what it's like. It's always these like teenagers selling the stuff. That's their, first job kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, so this fucking prick. I go. Can I get a steak and ale pie or whatever it is? Can I get a pie? And he went, have you got ID?
What?
And I went, what? He went, have you got ID? He's just being a dick, just being a total prick.
For what? Because the ale in the pie?
No. It wasn't. No, it was a beef and onion pie. Actually, if I'm being specific.
ID for what?
He's just being a dickhead. Just decided to be a dickhead. So it's 2 other people that work there. They're like, I'll ignore him. Like, I was like, who the fuck? I was just snapped. I went, who's this prick? Are you serious? And he sort of didn't say anything. I was like, you're a dickhead, mate. And then I went to go and get the to pay. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is this? Like, this is my home. This is my place. I spent fucking 30 years of my life nearly.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Anyway, I go to pay for it, and I go, oh, can I get some crisps as well? And then I go to get my pie from the guy, and he goes like this. He holds it, and instead of passing it to me, he just goes like that on the side, like away from me, and sort of walks over there. And I'm like,
what is going on?
Fuck! I was like, I want to grab him by the throat. I was like, are you like, what are you doing?
Knob.
Yeah, and then
did you grasp him and get him sacked?
Well, that's it. I was like, so I then tried to. I thought I'd pay. I went, you're a fucking prick, mate, and went to press pay for it and then go off. And then I heard him go, oh, it hasn't paid. But I couldn't take the risk of turning back in case of him going like, say it was a lie, and he was just trying to wind me up again for like no reason. But yeah, I couldn't, I'm not going to, I don't know, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to go, excuse me, sir. This 4-year-old's being mean to me. Like, I was just but just don't do that shit in my... And thing as well, do you know what's the most annoying thing? I sat down to my dad, I explained to my dad. My dad's like, he's like not listening because the game's happening. So he doesn't care anymore. I was just like boiling for about 10 minutes. And I remember thinking, I wish, when you think of the good thing to say, like, 2 minutes later.
Of course, yeah.
I just wish I'd gone, how's this job working out for you?
Yeah.
I wish I'd had it at the moment, and I didn't. But yeah, that's annoying.
People being obtuse for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we're coming to the end. Jurgen Klopp's weird little mate.
One more thing. Women that leave the toilet seat down. I don't want to pick up the toilet seat once your ass has been on it.
Yeah.
Like men always say, "Oh, put the toilet seat down after." Like lift the toilet seat up when you're pissing. Like men that piss on toilet seats are down scumbags. The lowest of the fucking low. If you go into a toilet and someone's pissed through the thing, that man is scum.
Bull Street was there was always like a rogue person, wasn't there, who was doing something.
One of them. And there was. I can't. I've got my suspicion.
Yeah, SP.
Yeah, weirdly, mine. Yeah, but yeah, you do that. You're a scumbag because you're expecting someone else to touch your piss to have or clean up your piss because you couldn't be bothered to lift it up. You're a scumbag.
Yeah.
But women who leave the toilet seat down, put it up. then you definitely won't get any piss on it. And then I don't have to touch the seat that your arse has been on.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, if you just bring it down and then put it back up, then they don't need to worry about that stuff, do they?
And no one does. If it's up, no one has to touch our seat. Right?
I guess you want to keep the any kind of odours out, don't you?
I'm not talking about the lid. I'm just talking about the actual fucking seat. Anyway,
right.
We're good.
Jurgen Klopp's weird little mate. This is where we describe people in 6 words or less, and this is the best we've ever had. So let's begin. This week it's Sean Dyche. Sorry, just to explain, Jurgen Klopp's weird little mate, that's David Wagner, and that's what spawned this whole thing. Sean Dyche was this week. Flav, next week it will be...
Nuno Espirito Santo.
Oh, we've done him.
I'm going to say...
Doesn't have to be a manager?
No, it does.
Okay.
It's going to be... I can't think of a single fucking manager.
Alan Pardew. Let's do Pardew.
Yeah, Pards.
Because he's having a tough time with, what are they called? Den Haag? Whatever they're called. No, it's not Den Haag. I don't know what they're called.
Was he in job?
Yeah, he's with Chris Powell in Holland, and he's failing miserably.
All right, go on then.
Charlie James. Sean Dyche shouts, so this is his one, shouts, "Keep it tight," whilst asleep. 4 words time-lapse drawings says Sean Dyche works doors on midweek cup nights. Curtis 1888 or 1888. Sean Dyche is Guardiola with a sore throat.
Very good.
Adam Butterworth. Sean Dyche, gravy on pasta pre-match meal.
Lovely.
FTL, Sean Dyche. It's hard to say Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche, the local bowling team captain. I can't picture it. I can picture him in the shirt. Actually, I can with the glove, like that. And then doing his bit. Loves his. What do you think of his goatee, Sean Dyche?
I'm in a very awkward position
yes,
now.
Yes, all right, I'll leave it. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Flav's back in the TV game, so he's working with him. Adam Lewis, Sean Dyche. Voice sounds like a dried scrotum. That was my favourite. Owen Taylor, Sean Dyche, the human trichotomy. Luke Scanlon, Sean Dyche, string vest, freckly chest, meaty breath.
Fucking hell.
Don't say anything, it's fine. Adam Lynch. I'm not even going to read that one out. Priesty98, Sean Dyche, eats spaghetti hoops in his undies. Ryan Morris, Sean Dyche, if Chewbacca loved Bisto. Tom Walsh, Sean Dyche, eats particularly large amounts of sawdust. There you go.
Very, very good. Maybe I'll choose manager that I'm
not working with. And finally, let's finish off. Oh, fan dilemma. So we haven't got BDA, we've got some fan dilemma. Tom Cribb, following on from George the Glory Hunter, I'm from Sheffield, but my mum's family are all Arsenal fans, and that's how I was raised, especially with my big brother being a huge fan. However, I hardly go to any games. 5 years ago, I got a season ticket with my mates to Sheffield United while in League One. The journey I've been on with United has been amazing, but felt like I can't properly enjoy it as I'm betraying my family. What should I do? Stick with family or with my local team and my heart?
Absolutely. Your family will never understand at all what you've experienced with Sheffield United. They will never, and they can never, because they don't come from that stock. They come from that stock over there that's all... If they haven't had something, they've grabbed it in the way that's not ethical through skullduggery. The only way that they ever got into the top flight league was through skullduggery, right? And secret meetings and engineering a way into the Premier League. What Sheffield United have done is wholesome. And did you know there's a reason why you've enjoyed it and experienced it? Because it meant something. You had it with your mates. All that shit, the fact that they're all from Sheffield and they're all gooners, what does that tell you about your family? Fuck your family, right? You've got new family, Sheffield United. Look at that. Mate, you've got it all in front of you. You can just let it go. You're not Arsenal, mate. You're not Arsenal. You're Sheffield United and you know it. You've always known it.
Do you know, this happened to Dom from Great Touch for a Big Lad. He was an Arsenal fan. And then he couldn't really get to the games much. And then his dad had taken him to Brentford once or twice. And then he went to Brentford when they're in League One and got to the playoff final. And he was hooked because it was a lot more sort of guttural. It was a lot. He felt like you were truly part of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It is tough because you should stick with the team that your family supports.
No, listen.
It's too late now. I think it's too late because the last line says it all. What should I do? Stick with my family or with my local team and my heart? It's too late. The heart wants what the heart wants.
The
heart wants. You have cheated. This is adultery. Okay?
It is.
But you've fallen for her and you can see a happier long-term future with her.
Right. You've had a long-term unhappy marriage where your wife's a cunt. Right? Bit of a cunt. No one really likes her. Rest of the family don't really get on. Fuck, you can't invite you because she's going to come Christmas dinner as well, mate. I'm sorry. You know what she's like. None of us like her, right? But now you found this lovely little thing. She's polite. She's good in the bedroom. She wears lingerie on a Sunday evening.
Yeah.
And
she's tactically astute.
Tactically astute, and
you're outside then.
She's got bum cheeks that go around the side, and the. Look, there's the saying to sit by always is you don't choose your football club, and what I mean by that, if you're the person that chooses their football club based on success, that's you choosing it, right? But you'll never have the connection with your football club if your football club chooses you. And what has happened here is Sheffield United has chosen you. Your football club has chosen you, and not everyone gets that. Not everyone gets it. A lot of people, like Sam Peoples, they chose a football. Lives in Southend. Oh, he's the best. Man United. He will never have the connection that you have with Sheffield United. He will never have the connection that James has with QPR. He will never have the connection that Adam Rosenbaum has with Brentford. He will have the connection that Tanvir has with Man United.
Let me ask you this. If you swap Arsenal with Spurs, is your answer the same?
It's with me.
Yeah.
What's the question?
So if the family supports Spurs instead of Arsenal, is your answer the same?
Yes, my answer is the same. My answer is exactly the same. Undoubtedly, it's not that it's Arsenal. It helps that it's Arsenal. It's easier to justify. Look, if someone says to you, "What, you used to be an Arsenal fan? Why are you a Sheffield United fan?" They're not going to say to you, "Oh, well, dig you out for being a glory hunter." You went backwards because you found love there. You went backwards. You found love there. This one, your previous wife, the wanker, she's got loads of money. She pays her share. Her parents are rich, right? This new one, she doesn't have much money, but you love her. And you stuck with her anyway, and now you're in the good times.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is this can't go on. You've got to choose a woman or man or partner, whatever. And yeah, this cannot go on. It's okay to flip, but you can't flap. You know, mate, you can make one move and one move only. You can't keep going back and forth, back and forth. You need to go, I thought I loved this, but actually I love Sheffield United. And now that is my team. Full stop. End of.
But you don't even. No one needs to know really. You just keep going Sheffield United. You can do that anyway. You're definitely not going to not go there, are you? So,
but I think the thing for him is that he wants to. He doesn't feel like he's allowed to enjoy it properly because he's betraying his family. I think he needs to come out to his family as well.
I would just say, look, honestly, it doesn't matter that much, right? So don't worry about not enjoying it. Life's about moments, and you found something, start going away with your mates, Sheffield United as well. Like that's when it really is. I mean, and you don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look, they're not really going to get it. They're not going to be upset because they support Arsenal, innit? So they're not like other fans. It's not like it was the heritage, and if they're from North London, then even then it's not their heritage. If they come from Woolwich and their family then I understand why they might be upset. But if they're from Sheffield United or anywhere else, then they haven't got a leg to stand on. They've chosen to support Arsenal either during the late 80s or 2000s, and for some reason you've been dragged along into it.
Well, cut from the same cloth then, because it sounds like he's done the same. That's all I will say. I reckon is also like, what's the connection with the family for it? Like, are they going to be absolutely devastated? That's going to be a tough conversation, but one you need to have.
But But it's not like you went League One.
Yeah, but they were winning. They knew they were going to get out of League One as well.
No, there was
Sheffield United far too big for League One. They were always going to go dip into that, and then we're going to win.
What, and then go to be on the brink of Champions League places now? Come on.
I know, yeah, he's caught it. He's caught the wave at the right time.
It's like someone starting going QPR now when they support Chelsea. I support Chelsea, but my mate's QPR, and I love going QPR.
Better football. Good decision. Yeah. Right, that's nearly it. Just to say, Clint Hill, my hero, tweeted me yesterday, and that's what I wanted to say at the start of the podcast. It was an unbelievable moment. I couldn't believe it. My mind was blown. When your hero does something like that and just does a 3-word reply back to your tweet, it's incredible, Flav. You can't believe that.
What was the tweet? Explain it.
Basically, so there's the Premier League. Premier League are doing a Hall of Fame. So I tweeted Clint Hill going, "Get your suit ready, fella," and he said, "I'm always ready, mate." I was like, "We're mates, are we?" That was amazing. And someone, I was like, "Oh, my mind's blown. I can't believe he's retweeted." He's replied to me, and someone said, "Well, have you got that might be good, but have you got a Clint Hill Netflix and Clint Hill mug?" And I went, "No, but we do talk on Twitter sometimes." Bang bang.
Good.
I've got a great little story about Clint Hill actually. From the playoff final.
Mate, you've probably got more followers than him though.
No, not the Clint Hill. Surely. Let's have a look. Get your guess in now if you're still listening.
I reckon he's got 26,000 followers.
Yeah, I've only got 14.5.
Yeah, but he's a professional footballer.
Yeah, I know, but you're saying he's got more than me.
I know I am. But let's just kind of, forget it. Whatever.
Right, you can't make these statements and not back them up.
I can, because if I get bored of them.
Yeah, that's true. Here we go. It's Clint. Picture with his family.
Oh, it was close.
22.8. Good shout. There.
Is he Scouser, Clint Hill?
He's a Scouser, yeah.
I didn't know that.
There you have it. James and Flav for now. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you want more, we do an extra Skype and Discords and all other stuff on the Patreon. So come and join us.
Jim, shush. When are we doing the next phone-in? When do you want to do it, Jim?
We could do it.
Can't do it next. I can't do it next Friday. Friday after that.
What about like a Sunday night one? Or do you want that Friday vibe? Do you?
No. They could do Sunday night. It's fine.
Do it this Sunday.
Could do it this Sunday. Wait, and when Spurs playing Wolves?
On Sunday.
Right. What time? I'll have to do shit after the game. Can't do Saturday. How about let's do the following Sunday. Anyway, we can talk about this after.
Yeah. All right. Let us know a date that works for you in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Like the video. Blah 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 blah. Bye.
Peace.